besties. We are back with another episode of the Girls That Get It podcast with your hosts, Ken and Han. And today really is going to be a doozy. These are some of our favorite episodes. I think last time we did this, we were saying that we need to come up with a better name. We still haven't.
No, I don't think we even need to intro it anymore of these are Q&As. I think we should just roll right into it.
Just start talking.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Because
That's probably
how
better.
most podcasts go.
You're right. Okay, let's just get into it then. Enough blabbing.
All
Do you want
right.
to start?
No,
Or
I
do you want
think
me to
you
start?
should start.
Okay, I'll start. Let's see. This one's starting off lighthearted, but I think I know your answer. And there's two types of people in the world, and we're just gonna see.
Sure.
Are you? And I saw this from. I got this idea from somebody else's podcast. I forget their names. They live in New York. It's like a brunette and a blonde.
Is this Danielle and Brooke?
Yes. They came up on my For You page, and I really liked this question, and I wanted to
name
see.
brand?
Yes. How did you know?
Because I saw it yesterday, and I was actually thinking about it, but it's not on my list. So
Okay, well, are you a name brand or generic shopper? Which one is it?
I would say it really depends on the type of product.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say in general, I would do generic.
Okay, respect.
I don't think I'm a name brand girly. I grew up in a non-name brand household. Just straight up facts.
Really?
But
Why does that surprise me?
We are not bougie like that. I associate being name brand with being
That's true. I
upper
guess
middle class.
Yeah. I guess that. Yeah, true.
Because you are significantly paying more. I think a lot of times too about specifically at the grocery store, a can of Harris Teeter green beans compared to
the same.
The one with the green giant.
Green
on
giant,
it.
yeah.
You're getting the same
it's
thing.
The same.
Why not save the little bit?
I know. I agree.
Yeah, I just don't see why pay for the name. Same kind of, as long as it's doing the job. There are certain things though, dishwash, the soap I use for my dishwasher, I've switched to name brand because I didn't like
the
I
other
tried
one.
several different and that's the thing too, if I know I like a brand, toilet paper and paper towels is what they were talking about.
That's what I was gonna say too.
I 100% agree. Bounty and Charmin, there is a difference.
Are the best. Yeah,
they are the best.
Yeah.
But if I'm at I typically go grocery shopping at Trader Joe's, and if I'm out of paper towels and I don't have plans to go to Costco that week, I'm gonna get the Trader Joe's brand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There are certain brands that I just won't get that are too cheap or too low of quality.
It just won't work.
Stuff.
Yeah,
but if they work okay or fine, I don't have to get the name brand.
I agree. I feel like toilet paper and paper towels is the big one that I feel like most people would say they would buy name brand because they were saying and like you just said, it's just not the same.
It's not.
The Walmart brand toilet paper is just not the same.
But she was talking about 2-ply versus 3-ply, and I was like, as long as it's 2-ply, I don't really care.
Yeah, the where we draw the line is 1-ply.
Yes, you're right. We do draw the line there.
We can't do that, but everything above that, sure.
Right.
Okay.
So there's that, and I think you can even think about it too. Most of my clothes they're definitely not designer, and a lot of them aren't even name brand.
Yeah.
So I grew up going to thrift stores, buying J.C. Penney brand polos when I had to wear uniforms. I wasn't buying the Aeropostale ones with the logo on the corner.
Yeah.
And I feel as a kid and growing up, you want all the name brand stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get older, you're it's kind of tomato.
Yeah, you realize that it really doesn't matter, and it's low key all the same.
So that's a good question, though. What would you say you are?
I would say generic all the way.
You thought I was a name brand girly?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that you were going to say you yourself, when you're shopping now, are generic, but I thought you were going to say that growing up you lived in a name brand household. I don't know why your family gives me that vibe, even though I don't think they're bougie.
No.
Why do I feel like Kelly...
I could see where you could think that, but no, Kelly was the one
who was generic all the way.
Yeah, if anyone's going to splurge, it's going to be Mike.
Yeah, actually now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
he'll splurge on something. Like he'll buy a car, like a nice car,
Right.
if he
We'll just go buy on
whatever.
a boat one day. So he's not thinking twice whether he's getting Tide or Food Lion brand.
No. Yeah, no, generic all the way. Unless
Well, that's
there's
the other
like
thing too. I
couple
grew
things.
up grocery shopping at Food Lion.
Same. I don't.
Well, and I
Yeah.
think everyone thinks that everyone lives in my neighborhood goes to Harris Teeter.
Harris Teeter.
But Harris Teeter is significantly more expensive than Food
Harris
Lion.
Teeter is so freaking expensive. It is ridiculous. Like I get it. Like some places, like if I want fresh fish, maybe I'll go to Harris Teeter and get that. But like just for your everyday stuff, it is so crazy. An avocado costs nearly $3 at Harris Teeter. One singular avocado. Are you joking?
Well, and that's where like we would go to Food Lion because it was on the back end of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And you save more money. Like,
oh yeah,
same exact things.
It's the same thing. It's crazy.
And then we were never Whole Foods people.
Oh God, no.
What I will say, this is kind of off topic, but I don't enjoy, like, I have like 4 different grocery stores I want to go to and need to go to because everything's not offered at one.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like in the course of a month, I go to Trader Joe's, Costco, King Soopers, and then like a 4th one for like specialty things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just a little too much of the rotation.
I know. There needs to be like someone needs to invent a store that has all of it. I guess that's like what the Walmarts and Targets are, but they don't have everything.
They don't even have everything, especially when it comes to produce and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true.
'Cause yeah, that's where like you go to Target for like more of the name brand snacks. And oh my God, grocery shopping at Target is expensive.
Bonkers. I know. The only time I'll like buy a grocery in there is if I was in there for something else and I'm like, oh, I need milk. Let me just run and grab it. But otherwise, you will not catch me doing my grocery shopping at Target. No way.
Same.
Okay, word. That was a good start.
Good question. I feel like I've asked this question before, but not about this particular album. And I'm asking this because Jenny asks me every time we get in the car,
okay,
what are your opinions on Drake's new album? Because she loves it.
I love it too. I'm obsessed. I love it. I think that the general public I think the consensus is that people don't like it as much as his quote unquote other stuff. I've heard a lot of slander, a lot of people telling me it ain't good, it's not this, Han, it sucks, like you're just biased, you just think it's good because you love him, blah da 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 da. Which like, yeah, of course that's my man's. I will never betray him and I'm gonna support whatever he does. But I truly do think it's a good album. I think there are a lot of songs. If you can't find at least 3 songs on there that you like, then you got a problem, because he has a good variety of like a couple like slower songs, some where he really goes in. He has some good features, a couple like upbeat, a couple like, different vibes.
Yeah.
Which I like. And I swear, and I think this goes for everything, but especially Drake, the more you listen to it, the better it gets. Like I'm on time like 10 now of listening to it all the way through, and I hear things that I missed before that just make it even better.
Right.
So I'm a fan. I really like it, but
totally.
I'm
kind of surprised that's the consensus, because I thought this album too was better than the last one.
Yeah, maybe it's not the consensus, but I just know a lot of people who like are coming for me being like, this isn't good, this isn't his best work. And I'm like, y'all are just haters.
Well, he also had so much success in the beginning of his career and just had like hit after hit after hit. And like maybe it's not hitting Billboard Top 100 or like number 1 or whatever, but like
it's crazy though, because it is. He has a lot of songs. There was like 2 or 3 songs that made it into like the top 10 on Billboard. So I'm like, y'all are, I don't know what. And I get it. If you're comparing Drake's album today in 2023 to Drake's first album in 2010, then like, why are we like, that's just ridiculous. Like it's been 13 years and he's been in this industry for that long. It's like, you can't think that he's going to be the same now as he was when he was 20 years old. Like people evolve and his music is going to change with him. But I thought it was really good and I'm a fan.
Well, good.
I'm glad. If you haven't listened, you should, because it's good. Okay, let's see. this is another lighthearted one. How do I get off TikTok? Because lately I be going on scrolling, and I know I'm like, I just wasted so much time. Like, what do
Oh.
I need to do to put it down, put it away, and stop wasting my damn time?
Yeah, do you have like a timer set? Like mine, if I'm
No,
on it for like more than 2 hours, it'll like tell me that and it'll stop.
no, I don't. Is I just do that in settings?
Yeah, there's like screen time settings. I do that for all of my social media apps, and a lot of times like I'll still pick to ignore it,
Yeah,
if that makes sense, like on the weekends, but realistically when I'm working 9 hours a day plus meals plus working out, I shouldn't be on it for more than 2 hours, and it's really more so at night when I get sucked in. It's like, "Oh,
same. That's when it
you've been
gets
on here for
me.
2 hours."
That's when it gets me.
I will say too, I find so much joy in scrolling TikTok because for me, I love how entertaining and like knowledge filled it is. I feel like I'm like filling my cup. Like I don't feel like I'm wasting time, which is my problem, but it
Yeah.
takes the guesswork out of things. I part of the reason I don't watch TVs or shows or movies is because first you got to pick a platform, and there's 20 these days,
Oh
and
my
then you got to
god.
pick
Yeah.
what to watch on the platform, and that's just so many decisions, and I'm like, I want to come home and just like it's all there for me.
Yeah.
um so I think one, starting to set those like stop reminders
I should
will
do that.
help, because that'll at least like, because it'll give you also like a 10-minute warning of like, you have 10 minutes left today until you hit your 2 hour or whatever it is. And like for me, Snapchat, it's 30 minutes,
Yeah.
which I don't go over that one either. I feel like in the beginning it took me a while to adjust it down to where I wanted it to be, and now I'm
Mhm.
okay. I don't typically get to those whatever, and I think that also helps you too, because if you do it for all your social media apps, you'll be like, okay, I get 2 hours on TikTok or an hour on Instagram, 30 minutes on Snapchat, 30 minutes on Facebook. And then you realize, oh shit, that's 5 hours of my day. Like once you combine
Yeah.
all that,
Yeah, I
is
feel
that
like
how I want to be spending my time? Is that like
yeah, no.
effective? Or it could be different per day. Like maybe on weekends you get more than you do on weekdays.
Right.
And then for me, there's a couple things. I've kind of fallen off the wagon, but when I was first starting that kind of cycle break, um, was there was like I had to read 10 pages before I could go on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Or I'd like have to post a photo on Pinterest, like do things that would benefit me in some way before
Before you
doing
allow
it.
yourself to do the quote unquote fun thing.
Yeah, I don't do that as much anymore just because I think I have it at balance. But the other part for me that I don't know if I recommend, but like for me, I find it's either all or nothing.
Mhm.
Like I either look at it every day before I go to bed,
Or
or I
none.
completely
Cut it out.
switch to reading before bed, or I don't look at it. And I think part of it too, once you have like a full-time job, it'll eliminate that too, because
Mhm.
I don't open TikTok at work because like it's not really the time or the place. Like it's
Right.
more of like you have to sit down and it's an activity kind of an event. Like
Mhm. It's not just like let me take a
I
quick
can't just
peek
scroll
and
through like
yeah.
Instagram or whatever. I don't go on TikTok.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think just find other things, and also
Okay.
really frame out, have other things that you want to do instead.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have like, oh, I want to read tonight, or oh, I want to spend this time cooking my meal or meal prepping, or like finding those other things to fill it, you're going to just go back to it because there's nothing else to fill it with.
Right, right, right. Okay. Well, that's good advice. I definitely need to set the time limit so that I'm like more aware of how much time I'm spending, and then hopefully
Yeah.
that'll help me cut back.
Well, and I set either, am I scrolling on TikTok for content ideas or am I scrolling for entertainment?
Right, right, right. Okay.
Okay. My next question for you. Um I thought about this when we were looking at the channel earlier.
Oh god.
Do you regret or miss the old Ken and Han, or wish we didn't stop doing it that way?
I'm gonna give a classic hand answer and say yes and no.
You.
um, but I'll say yes because I'll give my reasons for both answers. Sometimes yes, just because like that was truly we were just on it. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. We were just on our A game. We were just putting out some of the best content that we ever have, and it was also just so much fun.
Yeah.
But it's also, if we tried to go back to that, or if we'd never stopped and we tried to continue, I think it wouldn't be as iconic now as it was then.
No.
Because one, we aren't like, we don't see each other like as
No.
much as we did back then. Because like that one summer we were both home, so it was like way easier,
Yeah.
just proximity wise. And now I think because we're further distance, we're in completely different chapters. I just don't think it would hit the same. So I think even though I miss it and like wish in a way that was still us, I know realistically it like wouldn't be as good, and I feel like we'd be trying to force it to happen. I think now it's harder to hold ourselves accountable to like post, because it's easy to just be like, it's just a podcast.
We've fallen off so many times. Like, what's one more?
Yes, exactly. And like we always come back. So like, what's the big deal? Which like, it's not a big deal. And at the end of the day, we just do this for fun. And that's part of the good thing about the change is that like, it's not pressure or like stressful to like, we have to do this even though we don't want to. But it is easier to make excuses, which is like not always the best.
Right.
But I think it was the right choice, even though I was low-key not excited about it in the moment. I like vividly remember us having the conversation at that coffee shop. I was like, what in the fuck is life? Like, what? I look back and I can't
remember. Did you know that was going to happen that day or no? Did I take you by surprise?
I don't think so, because I remember the night before you were like, we need to talk about something, yada yada. Like, let's go get coffee tomorrow. And I was like, bitch, what? Like, this feels like a breakup. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I think I knew it had something to do with that, but I don't think I knew exactly what you were going to say. And I think I was kind of mad. Not mad, but just like surprised.
I do remember, like, we eventually, after we left, got to a good place.
Right.
But, like, it definitely was, like, a good hour conversation of, like, why you were, and rightfully so, you were like, why do you want to do this? And I look back and I laugh at myself, because of some of the points that you were speaking to earlier. Like, if we truly would have kept both of us on that same channel, one, I really loved originally how you kind of had to wait a week to see what you were up to or what I was up to, because we'd alternate. And I think that kept like people coming back for one or the other, but then collectively both at the same time too.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because at the time when I was like, we should go like make our separate channels. Go our separate ways. I thought I was just going to like dive all into YouTube and be like,
that's
some shit. And truthfully, I've been the one that's stopped doing it more so than ever. Like,
yeah. And I think when you first said it to me, in my mind, I was thinking that you thought you were better. And so that you wanted to do your own thing because it like would be better if you were alone. And that's why I was like, what the fuck? Like at first I was like, damn, I guess it's like that now. She like doesn't, she doesn't think, like she thinks that she.
Yeah, I see your point.
You know what I mean?
And it probably did come off that way too, because at the time we were getting to a place where if we would have continued on that trajectory, we would have been monetized by now, most likely.
I know.
And I think in hindsight, it was still a good decision to not have money involved with that, because
I think
that
so
wouldn't
too.
have been fun.
We got $25 in our bank account
that I still can't access because I haven't taken the time to call Wells Fargo. Fuck Wells Fargo, honestly.
Yeah, true.
But just things like that, there's so many hindsights, because also being the one that slacked, if we would have truly kept Ken and Han as Ken and Han, I probably wouldn't have posted for like an entire year. Like, and then it would just be Han, and then you would eventually one day be like, Kenna, what the fuck? This is mine now. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. But like,
yeah.
To your point, there's definitely less magic, I feel like, about our individual channels. Not that they're not good, but like there was something so magical about Ken and Han. Oh geez. Like,
I know. And I think like even if we went back, like let's say in 2 years we're living in the same place and we go back to that style, which who knows if that will ever happen, but if it did, I think sure it would be magical in its own way, but in its own new way, but I don't think it'll
Yeah.
ever be the same as what it was,
No.
just because we were younger and it was just different, and like, I don't know.
It was also the thing at that time, like during COVID and the years after COVID, like to be an influencer. And I feel like now that like wave has died down. And
Yeah.
I think we've all talked about on this podcast and even when we were doing Ken and Han videos that it's just not hitting like it used to be. Like I
Mm-mm.
follow my few creators that I love, but there's very few new people that I've like reinvested in.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's where I think um not that we've stopped because of that, but I think that amplified other reasons in our life that we were like, we've got a lot going on, or like,
Yeah.
I don't want to film everything, or I don't want to edit everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it just perpetuated this snowball. But
Yeah.
it's something to your point. You were saying how Sam was like, why does Kenna not capitalize on being in Denver?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, when I do post, I get happy and I'm excited about it. So
Yeah, it's just getting through the like,
yeah,
the hump of like actually doing it.
right.
Ugh, good times, man. We were iconic, and we still are, but that was just a time.
I know, and I
itself.
still think we both believe the pod is really good and successful in its own ways, even though we get shit views.
I
but
mean, we say some good stuff, so people
We
sleep.
do.
I know that people are sleeping on us, and so I'm okay with it because I know we're good. Like, I don't need them to tell me I'm good for me to know that
Right.
we're good. But like, y'all would get knowledge if you listen, because we say some good stuff sometimes.
And we've always said that the way for the pod to succeed past the level that it's at is us post on other platforms and promote it and make people
Yeah.
fall in love with us as individuals,
Yeah.
and then come to the pod,
Yeah.
and then like her followers find me and vice versa. But
Also, like, it's cool to have a podcast now. We've been like, we started this, I feel like we've been doing the quote unquote podcast for like a year.
yeah.
And I feel like nowadays, like right now, there are so many people coming out with
doing
podcasts. And I'm like, y'all, we've been on this.
I know. Well,
But
we even started that kind of style videos back when we were doing just Ken and Hand stuff because we were like,
yeah.
we always liked that the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm still hopeful that it's gonna get the time it deserves one day.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, that was a great question.
Thanks.
Let's see. Okay. This one's good, and I think I've asked so many people this before, and I think the oh my god, words, hello. The answer is always inconclusive, and I feel like we've had to have talked about this at some point. I don't know if on the podcast though, but what is the equivalent? Like, you know, when a guy buys a girl flowers and it's like a sweet gesture just to be like, I'm thinking about you, but it's nothing crazy. You don't have to put in way too much effort. It's not expensive. You don't have to like jump through all these crazy hoops to do it. It's just a sweet, easy thing that girls appreciate. What's the equivalent for a man as a woman? Like, what can I do for a man that's like similar in meaning? You know what I mean?
I feel like it's food.
See, yeah, that's what some people say.
Like there's a couple different things. I think one is obviously food, whether it's home cooked meal or like you pick something up. It's more so the gesture of doing it without being like, what do you want tonight? Or like, do you want to do dinner? It's just been like, hey, I got you this, left
Right.
it at your place, or I've got this waiting when you come home, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or I feel like it's also the equivalent, like if he's out with his friends and like you send him money for drinks with his friends, like that kind of vibe. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's gifts because I don't think guys give a shit about gifts.
I know. That's why
It's not like, here's this cute little, like, I got you a new pair of sunglasses. Like, he doesn't care.
I know exactly.
I think it's more like an act of service. Or like, and I guess this kind of comes further along, but like you clean the house. Like you're just doing things without being prompted. I feel like that's what it is. Or like,
yeah.
Oh, I saw your tennis shoes were dirty, so I washed them for. I don't know. Like,
yeah. Just small stuff that shows that you care,
Yeah.
but like didn't have to be asked to do it.
yeah. What do you think? Is that what you think?
Yeah, I like would say food is the one that I first thought of, and then I thought like beer if a guy's were into
Yeah.
drinking. But then I'm like, that's lame. Like, I don't want to just show up with a 6-pack and be like, here's some beer. Like,
Right.
It's the intentions there, but I don't love that. I also thought that, like, honestly, I could just pull up with flowers. Like, I know that's
That's true.
not every, but like, I was talking to Sam about this like a while ago because obviously he's a man, and I was like, what would you want? And he was like, honestly, flowers. Like, if a girl got me flowers, I'd be happy, which, like, that makes sense for him because he's
Yeah.
more like, I feel like, sensitive and like appreciates that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure not every guy would like flowers, but
That'd be really funny to start flipping the script on men and getting them flowers,
that's what
because
I mean.
then,
Like, I kind of want to try it to see what happens.
well, especially if it was someone you like weren't super serious with, like they'd keep them there, and then other girls would come over, or like their roommates' girls would come over, and they'd be like,
What is this?
"Dog, why do you have flowers?" And they would bust any like sense of like multiple girls with the same, like, you know.
That's what I mean. I feel like the right
There's
guy.
no good way to lie and be like,
I
they're
bought them for myself. Shut up.
right.
No, you didn't.
My roommate bought him for his girlfriend. You don't have a roommate, and your roommate doesn't have a girlfriend. You know, like,
Yeah, he doesn't live here. So what? What? Explain.
yeah,
No, I know. I think the right guy would appreciate flowers just because it's kind of funny and it's kind of like, I don't know, ironic. But
yeah. I think,
bes-
yeah,
besides that, I guess, I mean, I agree with what you were saying. Food, or like if you're more into a relationship, like doing the small things around the house, or like picking up his favorite meal that you know he likes, or making his favorite dessert and leaving a note and saying, "You're cute. I miss you. Have a great day," or whatever it is.
I know. Do you think guys get like giddy about that kind of stuff? Like, I know girls love for that shit. Like,
I
do
think
men
some
care?
do. I think some do. I
I
think some
think
do.
in moderation, it's all really appreciated. If you start doing it like every week, she's gonna start expecting it, or just be like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. So
Okay, well, that's a good question.
cool.
Okay, this next question is very important.
Okay. Oh, okay.
What kind of vibe are we going for this year when we're home at Christmas, as far as like what we're doing?
Oh,
You know?
yeah, that is important. I haven't even thought about it. Are we fucking shit up or are we being wholesome?
That's why I was like, hmm. It's
Should
tough to
we?
fuck shit up in Wilmington because of all
I
the
know.
things I could fuck up. I don't want to do it with a lot of people,
I know.
you know?
I kind of think silly, goofy mood is the vibe.
Silly, yeah, I love a silly goofy mood.
And that doesn't even necessarily mean like that could be wholesome or not. It could
Right,
be both.
right.
Um,
We got to go in with a united front, because sometimes we don't figure it out until like the last time we're hanging out, and we're like, ah, damn.
I know. I feel like we should. I feel like okay. Maybe the vibe should be like just say yes within reason. Obviously,
Okay.
I don't know.
I feel like
like
I'm pretty good at that.
I mean, so am I. But like sometimes it's easy to be like, oh, I can't, or like, oh, let's do this instead, or like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific example, but
Okay.
I think just good vibes, silly, goofy
It's
moods.
tough because we don't even go out together when we're home, because you go downtown and I go to the beach.
I know. I mean, we can. I can go to the beach
I would
one
consider
night.
going downtown, maybe. Depends.
If
I just
if
know
one
there's
of
certain people I'm gonna see.
well, you just avoid the bars that you know you need to avoid, which are.
But they're all on the same strip, dude.
I mean, yeah, but if you see him, just hop, skip, and jump to the other side of the
I
street.
think I would actually like melt into a puddle.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny, but also not. But also kind of funny.
It'd be funny for you. I wouldn't have anything nice to say. I'd be an absolute bitch.
No, you wouldn't. Would you?
I'm pretty savage when it comes to that.
Damn. Well, then let's do it. I want to see that. This would be entertaining.
I know.
No, I would go to the beach with you. I just really don't like Jimmy's. I know you love Jimmy's though.
I love Jimmy.
I would give it another chance. I would give it another chance. For you.
Yeah, I really only like going with like the crew that I go with, though. Like, I
Oh, well,
wouldn't
then
go.
just count me out then, because I ain't a part of that crew.
Well, no, you can join the crew,
Okay.
but like,
I don't know. What do you think the vibes
I wouldn't
are?
go. Just, um, I just want to make the most of it. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to obviously do like a cute gift exchange. I would
Mhm.
love to like go to my fave restaurants, because I don't get to go to
Mhm.
them often.
Mhm.
But just do cute shit.
Yeah, I think that's good.
I'm more of on the cute train, just because I don't really know what shit I could fuck up.
I know that was more of an
I'm
expression.
I'm not trying to walk away with drama either. That's
No drama, no drama, just good
yeah.
quality time. I'm trying to be
Yeah.
laughing like I was when you said that thing
That's
that we
true.
don't know what you said.
That's true.
Because that was just good, wholesome fun.
I know. I would low key love if in like 5 years we did a reunion with that group, but I also don't want to at the same time.
I feel like it could be. I feel like I could see that being a scenario where like we all just act like nothing ever happened, and then like
We
not
go
that
back to
anything
not
happened,
talking.
but
Yeah.
yeah, and then once it's over, like no one speaks, which would be
Right.
fun.
I
Um,
know. I think it'd be like one night and one night only.
right,
We do all the
right,
things.
right.
What I, and this is going to sound targeted, and I promise it's not. As we get older, people start bringing other people home for Christmas, whether it's their friends, their significant others, and it makes like it's fun to meet new people, don't get me wrong. But part of what I love about coming home is like you get to see the OGs.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the times change, obviously because you're older, so it changes anyway, but like
Right.
you can't just shoot the shit with your homies because all these plus ones are here, whether it's
Yeah.
friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, like cousins, whatever. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
they don't get the inside jokes, and I'm
I
here to
know.
crack my inside jokes the one time I can.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I was telling Matt this week, and I haven't seen Addie in almost like 2 years.
Dang, it's really been that
I
long.
know. Yeah,
Wow.
because the last time I saw her was when I left before I moved out here, and then if we're not home at the same time at Christmas, like
You
good
don't really
game,
see
it's
each
over.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
So
Well,
who
I think
knows?
regardless, we'll have a good time and spend some quality time over Christmas.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I just want to do the good stuff. I want to actually like have time to see each other because I feel like between you have a lot more things with your family. I feel like this year I'll have a lot more things with my family because my
Yeah.
grandma's birthday and like
Mm-hmm.
Alex is gonna be there for a bit.
Oh, I was like, who?
Yeah, Colton's girlfriend's
I
coming.
yeah, I realized I remember that it clicked after I thought about it for 2
Yeah,
seconds.
which like again, so happy they're coming. I'm so excited to spend time with her and like do those things. But I'm only
Yeah.
home for like 4 days.
Yeah, you got a lot to
I get
squeeze
on the
in.
6 days. Sorry, that's
Okay.
more.
That's better, but still, that'll go by fast.
Right.
So,
Okay.
okie dokie. Let's see. This one's good. I think you'll like this question. What is an exciting change that you've been seeing in your life recently? And it could be small, it could be big. Just like some change that you've seen in yourself that is exciting.
Um, I feel like I've gotten better and not wallowing in the bad stuff. I feel like I bounce back faster, and I
Mm-hmm.
definitely acknowledge it and like take the time to like feel those emotions and process it. But like within the same day, within the same hour, I can turn it around. Where
Mm-hmm.
previously it would take me such a long time, and then overall, I do just think I see the good. Like I
Yeah.
think there's been other times in my life where it was a lot easier to see the negative or even kind of play the victim and be like, poor me, this happened, poor me, that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But like you really do get to drive your life and like determine your feelings, your emotions, your outcomes. And that's something too. I've been a little bit more frustrated when people come into my life with that energy and I'm like, you can change it, stop complaining. Like
Yeah. Yeah, you have the power to do
yeah.
something about it if you really want.
So that's something I've noticed, and specifically, like, I'm calling myself out on my bad habits too, and that's
Yeah.
something that I used to spiral about and be like, I'll start next week, and I'm like, no, let's change it tomorrow. Let's change it next meal. Like instead of waiting an entire day or week to start on a good foot, like today, I meal prepped last night, and I'm going to a cycling class because yesterday I ordered food in, which I don't
Mm-hmm.
regret, but I'm like, okay, let's do better tomorrow. Let's do
Yeah.
better this. How am I going to use my time? So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still not perfect and I still fall short in a lot of ways, but
Right.
I
But
think that's the first step in truly making those things habits rather than just like wanna do's. I'm now viewing them as I have to do this.
mm-hmm. Well, that's good. I feel like acknowledging and like holding yourself accountable is important, and it's hard for a lot of people. So that's good that you like have gotten better and are just improving in that constantly.
Yeah, totally.
Yay.
Thanks. Okay. This is kind of going off my last question, but
Okay.
what are your ideas for Christmas gifts you either want yourself or kind of the vibes you want to give this year in terms of like what you want to give to others or just general things you think will be popular gifts this year? My goal is to kind of get done with Christmas shopping earlier than in the past. Like I don't want to be too early, but
Right.
I don't want to wait till the last minute.
Yeah. I think a couple years ago I like did all my Christmas shopping like the weekend of Black Friday. Like I just ordered everything online. And it was
Mhm.
honestly so nice to not have to worry about it. And also, like, not that the deals are great, but there's some things that are on sale online with like Cyber Monday and all that stuff. So I
Right.
would recommend, not that that was the question, but I just wanted to say that. But let's see. I don't know. I feel like, and I've said this before about like birthday gifts, but I feel like the vibe that I'm going for as far as gift giving is just like getting useful stuff that I know people will appreciate and actually use, and maybe stuff that like they wouldn't buy themselves. Because I feel like there's a lot of things. I don't know. It's easy to think you need something, but then you just never get around to buying it. Um,
Right.
so I want to try to get useful things. I honestly haven't
Mhm.
thought about. I have like a note in my phone of like a running list of gift ideas, and literally the only person I have one idea for you and one idea for Sam, and no ideas for anybody else. So I haven't really
Ooh.
thought much about it. Um, my one idea for you I was gonna do for your birthday, but then I didn't. So now I think I'm gonna do it for Christmas.
Oh, sweet.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think just useful stuff. I think a lot as far as like trends for like what I think people are gonna be buying. Obviously, those damn Uggs that everybody wants and is like wearing, which
Mhm.
I was gonna buy a pair of like dupes on Amazon and I never did. So maybe I want those. I don't know. But those are definitely trendy right now.
Mhm.
What else? I think I don't know why I think experiences are like becoming
Yeah.
more of like a popular gift item, whether it's like concert tickets or game
Mhm.
tickets to a sport you like, or I don't know what other, or just like a trip for people who I don't know. I feel like a lot of the couples, and this is not related necessarily, but a lot of the couples that I follow um on like YouTube and Instagram and stuff, they just like gift each other vacations and like don't do as
Yeah.
much of like the tangible stuff, which I guess if you're at that point, that's a good idea. I don't know. What do I even want? I literally, there's one thing on my list and I asked my dad for it and I don't even know what else to ask for. I'm
Oh,
struggling. I
really?
haven't
What
even
did you
thought
ask your
about it.
dad for?
A pair of Hokas because I'm going to Spain
Oh.
and I need like a good pair of shoes to walk in for 2 weeks because I really don't.
Mhm.
I mean, I have like a couple comfy pairs, I guess, but not for like 10-hour days of walking. So
Yeah.
I
I
kind
get
of
that.
need those. But besides that, I don't know. I feel like my ideas are dry. Just useful stuff is I'll say that
Yeah, for sure.
because I'm tired of just like random knickknacks hanging around that never get used, and I feel like I'd rather put time into thinking of something that would be like a good quality gift that they'll use. So
Yeah, that's totally fair.
yeah. Let's see. I have a couple more. Wait, where'd it go? Okay, I have two more. This one's kind of just a general note or a general like vibe check. Are you ready for 2024? Because it's quite literally
Oh.
coming up fast. It's November already, and I feel like it was just January. So how are
Yeah,
you
like
feeling about
I
the new year
guess.
coming?
Um
It doesn't really feel like it's
Fine.
coming to me.
I know. I think 2023 has gone by so fast. I also think kind of to the point we were speaking to earlier, once you start having a full-time job, it doesn't feel like I mean, it's just keeping on. Like,
Yeah.
I know at my work, our Q4 does not end until the end of January.
Mm.
So you're still on like the 2023 grind,
Yeah.
like in February. And that kind of throws off too, like my whole New Year's situation, just in the
Mm-hmm.
sense of like, I'm not really starting fresh. I'm continuing what I started last year. And then by the time we are starting fresh, it's February. And then you can't just like stop to take a pause. Like you gotta keep moving.
Yeah.
But overall excited. I tend to like odd numbers better, so I really like 2023.
Oh.
2024 is like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
not for me. Less big things I think happening next year. Like I'm turning 26, that's not as big as 25.
Mm-hmm.
Less things that I know that I'll achieve, but definitely like goals I'm hoping to continue to like hit, and it's kind of just the beginning of forever.
Damn. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, I
Like
guess
it's
so,
just
yeah.
repeating the cycle,
It's
which
just here we go again. Same old, let's just
yeah,
run it back, like
and that's
just
where I'm so thankful to love where I'm at, the people in my life, what I'm doing career-wise, but I don't like feel anything towards that. I'll be lucky to make it through Christmas. Just
stop.
in terms of like the morale.
Yeah.
I feel like business-wise, this is the busiest time of year. People come in wanting things by the holidays. People like I don't know. There's just a lot going on. It's go go go. But I love fall. I love the holiday season. So like I'm just here to enjoy the next 2 months.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. I will also say last thing on that is it's only snowed once here. Like so far.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared it's gonna be May and we're still gonna be deep in snow.
Oh yeah, like winter's just gonna be pushed even
Yeah.
further. Yeah, that's not it.
So,
I hope that doesn't happen for you.
I know. So I'm just a little curious with all this global warming stuff going on, how that's gonna go for me here in the
Mm-hmm.
snow.
Wasn't it
Because
snowing
that's
last year in like April or something? Yeah, that's
yes.
insanity.
Which that's pretty typical from what other people have said. But if we're in May and it's snowing
There's
consistently,
an issue.
that's gonna be tough. Because imagine like one day Christmas is gonna be warm, like it's gonna cycle that far like ahead,
Yeah.
and then what we view as summer will be cold.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't like that.
So that's what I'm worried about.
Okay.
Okay, how many more questions do you have?
One.
Oh, okay. So I should
many
have
do-
2.
You have two. Oh, I started, so that makes sense.
I know. I have like a couple left. I just gotta decide which one I want to ask.
Okay.
This one's kind of cute. What's a song that when you hear it, you think about like our friendship?
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw. First thing that comes to mind without thinking is Ariana Grande.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
let me see which one I might consider. I don't know. I think Thank You Next, just in general, is a good one.
That is good.
Oh, I know that we both love the one from Sweetener that's like, I get drunk, pretend that I'm
Yeah.
worried. Sometimes I think about you and us when I hear that song.
Mhm.
I think
True.
Ari just as a general statement, but maybe Thank You Next. POV, just because I know you like that one and I love that one.
That's true.
Other than Ari, I don't know. Maybe Happier Than Ever.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
good one. And plus,
Honestly, that's what
Go-
I kind of thought of too.
what, Happier Than Ever?
No, just Ari as a whole.
Ari, yeah. I think her. Sorry, I'm sniffling. I know that's gross, but I can't help it.
It's okay. I like messed up my coffee table, but I'll fix it later.
Yeah, I think Ari, just as a general statement, because we just vibe to that. And there was a point where, like, because I think around the summers when we were still in college was when like Thank You Next was popping. That was like
Yeah.
2019.
I think
So
of that album kind of in particular.
Yeah, we would just bounce around and bop that music. So
Because that's when we were in our deep Ken and Han era too.
yeah, and we both went to a concert, not together, but we went to
Right.
her concert, her same show. So we like bonded over that too. So yeah, Ariana Grande, I would say.
Yeah. Because I think about being in your old car in Raleigh too because we would just
Yeah.
run through that one.
Yeah, we would. Good times, man. Okay. I got one more. This might be a short one, but you can just take it how you want. What does I wrote growth means realizing that blank, but like what does growth mean to you? Realizing what?
So many things.
Let's hear it.
The first thing that came to mind was growth is realizing you don't want what you thought you wanted.
Ooh,
Because
that hit.
I think it's so easy to think these are my goals, this is where I want to go, and then you get to the top of that mountain and you're like, why does it feel like the way I thought it did? Or I think there's certain values of mine that particularly I feel so grounded in or so like set on,
Mm-hmm.
and then a life event will happen or I'll really stop and reflect on, is that what I really think? And I'm like, I don't know if it is anymore.
Yeah, that's good.
I think about that specifically in relationships and like just my view towards relationships right now as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think if you would ask younger self or like my younger self if that's what I would think about it or like how I would prioritize it in my life, if I would agree with that 5 years ago or when I was in college, but now I couldn't imagine it any other way.
Yeah.
I think growth is also like calling yourself out on the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you can't, and I'm not saying you won't still do the bad habits, like I'll still order like food out, but it's saying like
Right.
I don't need to. And there's times where I've caught myself recently doing things I never thought I would do because I know it's bad for me. Like, I intentionally won't do them because I'm like, you don't need to, or like,
Yeah.
this is what's better for you. And especially personality things too. Like, why do you keep putting up with people disrespecting you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No other reason besides yourself, because you
Right.
find validation through them. Like, cut that shit out.
Yeah, you're the only one that's allowing it. If you don't allow
Yeah.
it, then it won't happen.
And I think I'm pretty fortunate in the sense I don't think I have too many big mistakes in life, but when I think about other people, especially people that continue to kind of act on negative behaviors, negative tendencies, like how they treat people, and it's like, how could you not have those conversations with yourself? And
Yeah.
how do you, in your mental psyche every day, wake up and say, what I did was okay, and I'm going to continue to do it to other people down the line? That's where I'm like, there's a bigger something wrong than necessarily me and my opinion on that situation. The
Mm-hmm.
feelings I have, it's like, oh no, something isn't quite right if that's how they're going to conduct their life.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well,
I feel like there's so many things that growth is.
I know. I think the list could go on and on and on. So that's kind of hard to like answer in a short way. But I think what you said was good.
Yeah. I'm still marinating on it.
Giving her a second to think if she wants to
I
add
know.
anything.
There's like so many things I like could fill that with. Like,
I know.
oh my God. Yeah. Wow. That's a great question. I still just stand by the first thing I said. It's knowing you don't want what you thought you wanted or whatever.
That's true. So true.
I think another one is like, growth is not having, like, being okay not being in control of your narrative. Like,
Yeah,
Something I
that's
found in
big.
myself recently is that I think it's easy to get hyper fixated on how do people view me? What do they think about me? And one, the only people that are ever going to know what they think about me is other people. I'm never going to know.
Mm-hmm.
And why am there's been times in my life where I was so consumed of I don't want to come across this way. I don't want to do that. And realistically, there's a reason why people in my life are drawn to me. They come back to me, or like they still treat me with respect regardless of the situation that's happened, whether it's a friend, a relationship, a coworker. Like I don't have a lot of people walking around actively hating me.
Yeah.
I don't have to control every single like descriptor they have in their head about me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, because the other elements of how I'm treated and how I'm viewed like fulfills that.
Yeah.
I don't need to know it all, or
No, you don't.
be scared of doing certain actions to make myself look a certain way. Like I am
Yeah.
who I am. At this point, if you know me in my life, you know who I am.
Right. And
And
plus,
that's what you're getting.
yeah, whatever the way you live speaks for itself, that you don't need people
Right.
to, you don't need to prove like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. You just either know it, and if you know it, you're good, and if you're not, I don't need you in my life. That's okay. If you got it, you got
Yeah.
it, you know?
Yeah. Okay. My
Okay,
last
good.
question for you. Do you believe in all of these zodiac things or horoscopes?
Um, I don't know. I mean, like, probably not. If I
Mm-hmm.
had to pick yes or no, I think it's fun to like look at, and some things can be accurate, but also it's like,
Yeah.
is it accurate, or are they just saying such general statements that like it could apply to anybody?
Right.
Um, that's something
Fair.
which like that's something that we talked about in like my psych classes, is that like
Mm-hmm.
um things like that, you can word it in a way to where I could read Libra, which is mine, or I could read Taurus, which is not mine, and feel like certain things apply to me for both. um so I don't know, I also just don't know enough about it to really have an opinion, but I don't think that it's like, I don't think there's like some separate world that like knows everything, and the horoscopes and the lines of the stars and where they fall and how they hit the moon is going to make like, I don't know. I feel like some people get really into it, and I just don't,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not really me. I don't think. I mean, I think it's a fun thing to look at and like compare and like see what your friends are and how whatever it lines up with yours, but I don't know. I don't think I take it with a grain of salt,
Yeah.
I would
No,
say.
I agree. I have tend to lean in that more direction too, always, and I think I always will. But recently, I've met a couple people that are a little bit deeper into it, and it made me just think. Some people really dive into that.
Oh,
Like,
I know. Some people are like super like obsessed and into it and know everything and all the ins and outs. I
yeah.
don't even know what the difference between a star, sun, rising moon,
Oh, yeah.
whatever is. I just know I'm a Libra, so maybe I just don't know enough. But yeah, I think it's fun, but I don't know that I really like believe it for fact.
Yeah.
I don't
Totally.
know. Plus, that's a lot of work. Like that takes a lot of time to research all that, and I just don't have that time right now.
I know. Well, and to your point, for me, what's always grounded it is having a twin. We are so different. We're
Mhm.
born on the same day, and sure, whatever, certain things might be different, but like, and even you and I, we're both Libras, and I'm like, there's certain things that we're just different on, and I don't know
I
if that
know.
aligns.
So is Sam. Sam's a Libra.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, what?
Right. Colton and I are.
Yeah, you both are.
You
So,
see it. You see it in the family stuff too. Like to your point, you and Sam probably see it.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
okay.
Is that all? I
Well,
don't
I
have any
think
more
that's.
questions.
No, I don't either.
Even though these are always fun and I want to
Um,
keep going, but I feel like that's a good
I
stopping point.
know. But I feel like, yeah, to your point, this is a good stopping point. We'll clearly do so many more of these. We have a couple ideas for our next pod, so be sure to like and subscribe, rate and review, all the things. We're Ken and Han on YouTube, the Girls That Get It podcast on all other platforms. But in the meantime, you should follow our individual channels that we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
because maybe a big comeback's coming. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just our names, Adrian Zuli, Kenna Casto, on all platforms. But we love you guys so much, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.